Well, hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. I am Doug Robbins, the ringmaster, I suppose you could call me here at Engagement and everything else we do here. Um, so people ask me all the time, Doug, you're a wedding officiant, a wedding celebrant, and you have a channel called Engagement. Is there a connection? And yes and no. The connection is the fact that I love to engage in conversation with people and ask questions and be curious and get to know people. So that's why I started a channel called Engagement. Welcome to Engagement. So this series that we're doing, this is season 2, episode 4. We've been talking this summer about summer. We've come through, hopefully, COVID, and we've learned a lot from COVID. COVID has taught us many, many things. For me, it's taught me to enjoy, the whole carpe diem, if you will. And so I've proclaimed to my friends, and they're tired of hearing it, but I'm going to say it again anyhow. Let's make this the best summer possible. Whether we can or we can't, we're going to try. And so I've started this season off with some summertime things that I like. And if you know, here at Engagement, we talk about pretty much anything. And it can be a bit of a whiplash effect because, 1 week you're talking to a drag queen, the next thing you're talking to some phenomenal females. But right now we're focusing on summer because summer is upon us. We want to enjoy the summer. We want to go out and do things. We want to have people in. We want to entertain. And I thought, well, Doug, you like to entertain and you like to host a party, and you like to have people around, and you like to cook food, and you like to have a cocktail. So I thought, well, let's talk about how to make the outside entertaining better. And I didn't have to look very far to find the person that is best suited to help me. It would be this lovely lady, Erin Van Ray Robbins. I didn't have to look very far. That's my daughter-in-law and my dapper son beside her on their wedding day. So Erin, if you don't know, Erin is one of the powers behind the Glass House Nursery, and has some extensive knowledge when it comes to plants and events and how to put on a really great party. So I invited Erin on to talk about everything summer. So Erin, welcome.
Hi, how's
There
it
you are.
going?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. So summertime, you've been by the house many, many times, and one of the first things out of my mouth is, can I get you a drink? So I sent over a drink for you.
Thank you. It was here
Cheers,
before I
cheers.
was. Cheers. It's delicious, by the way.
Well,
Tracy would be very disappointed to find out that this is what she could be drinking if she was doing this.
I warned her, and when I delivered it today, she asked me if it was a urine sample.
Oh.
But it's not. It's not. No. So that is actually a limoncello Tom Collins, and I have adapted the recipe from my good friend Ina Garden, the Barefoot Contessa. We're not actually friends, but maybe in my mind, if we ever met, we'd be friends. She'd like me because she knows how to have a good time, and so do I. So thank you, Barefoot Contessa Ina Garden, for that recipe. It is a limoncello Tom Collins. I'll put it up on our Facebook page for anyone that wants to get the recipe. And I strongly suggest make a picture or two of it because it is definitely going to help your summer, move along. So, Erin, tonight, let's get into what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some summer stuff. So out of the Glass House, you guys have, a lot, not just, plants, but you have furniture, some really great furniture, and you have accessories, and you have one of the areas I always migrate to, of course, is the kitchen area, because entertaining is really important. And I'm a big believer in pulling out the china. I mean, there's nothing wrong with paper plates. If that's the vibe you want, then that's great. I'm let's pull out the good china. Let's celebrate this meal. A meal can be a celebration in our house, and it should be. So you've got some really great glassware that I really want to talk about. So let's start with this one here. This is a beautiful set.
So these are actually samples that I found online because I don't have a whole bunch of tables to set stuff on.
But you can get it.
I have a bunch around me. So I wanted to kind of show an idea of what you see on social media or on the internet and how you can kind of accomplish those looks in your own home. And sometimes you can find ways to incorporate things you already have with just adding a few pieces here and there or collecting them over time. Being young and having a family and stuff and loving my
An
gardens
adorable
probably a
family.
little bit too much. Plates are something that I like to collect over time because I can't just go out and blow a whole bunch of money because that money's meant for my garden. Yeah, one of the number one trend that you see online right now, almost anywhere in home decor, is everything is white. It's clean lines, it's crisp. You can see fingerprints on everything. But that is the number one trend. So it's the monochromatic, everything white. And one of the ways, I'm not somebody who likes everything to be the same. Like I said, I like to collect things over time. So one of the things, if you pull up that picture again, Doug, is you can see some of those plates. They all have different prints on them, or there's kind of like the chargers and the plates, they're not all full sets. They're kind of a little bit of a collection, a little bit more eclectic. And that's kind of a word you'll hear me use all the time, is because I really like to collect dishes. And I think that that's kind of right on trend right now. And it allows you to add a little bit of your own characteristics and unique touch to when you have company over.
Absolutely. It breaks it up. Yeah, I'm a big fan of having monochromatic as well, having a white palette, because then you put some really great food on it, or a pasta or a steak or a fresh salad, and it really pops off it. And plus you can then layer other colors, other sets that are maybe eclectic on top of it, which makes it far more interesting, and it becomes a palette for the eyes as well as the tongue. So would you grab there?
So some of the items that we do have in the store, so we don't carry a lot of like plates or whole huge dinner sets, but what we do carry are things that day trippers might come through the store and see and really, really like and bring home to add to their collection. So a few things we have are some really nice serving plates. I cut some hydrangeas earlier that I'll show you later too. They're all over these plates now. So there's just different sizes of serving plates here, but again, just very clean, crisp, almost very timeless too. So these are items that you're not purchasing them just to be on trend for a few years and then having to repurchase again. They can kind of become handed down in the family and stuff too. So Doug, if you ever want to get one of these,
I can hand it down to you when I'm done with it.
So yeah, like serving plates like that. One of the things I love when we go over to your house for dinner, Doug, is your plates of meats and cheeses and it's stuff that you don't get to have at your own home because he treats you to different things all the time. So little serving plates like that is perfect. And then so other things that you can use are like different sizes of salad bowls. So rather than just putting, say, broccoli on a plate or in the steaming or like in the container on Tupperware, you can get like little bowls here. And then, so these are actually great bowls.
Those are nice.
Kind of like those little Thai dishes and power bowls. And then these ones are a really nice, like little salad size, or you could put like a dip in there. And this is one of my own, because you taught Spencer, your son, how to make an amazing guacamole dish. But these are kind of some of the ways that I like to incorporate a different touch to everything white. So like things with like little words like this. So like I said, this is mine. But we do have a collection, which have like little black letters like this.
Nice.
So there's like the butter dishes. There's little like creamer and casserole dishes and everything that kind of go along with that theme. So if you wanted to still go all white, still do the monochromatic, you can add a little bit of character or like a unique touch with words like that. Yeah. And then like another thing you were saying too is maybe you don't just like having straight white and you want to add some other colors. I'm just gonna set these over here. So I have a lot to show you guys. So if you wanted to add in another like little touch, something I like to, so you still have your white bowl here. So
nice.
Again, this is something that I did get here quite a few years ago. Everything that we do tend to get in here, we don't get a ton of, and so we don't stock the shelves with the same of everything. So I have taken this one. However, we do get things in like this all the time. So these are the type of pieces that, you know, you want to kind of keep an eye out for when you're in your travels. Maybe it's something you purchase when you're on a trip, say an anniversary trip or something like that. I actually have one of my favorite dishes here that we got in Collingwood celebrating my anniversary last year.
Nice.
So we have two of these, and I mean, we use these for salads, Thai bowls, and everything like that. But so for me, this means something to me. It says something about my life, and that's why I like having it on my table. So I guess setting your table isn't always just about your company either. It's kind of about how you want to present yourself and the way you want to kind of have those meaningful things surrounded around your table that mean a lot to you.
Those are a collection of characters that you enjoy, and there's a tactileness to like a special bowl or a special plate, or a special serving dish that you when you hold it, you feel a certain way about it, and it makes the meal special. It makes the content inside that bowl extra special. So yeah, those are gorgeous. Those are gorgeous. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Absolutely.
We're going to talk a little bit about.
So I kind of did mention this as we were talking before, but just adding another little form of texture. So here you see in the left picture, they incorporate one of the dishes as a taupe color instead of just being all white. Another way you can kind of do that is adding, I think I already mentioned that, but we can move on to, or there's the gold polka dots, right? And the gold rims.
Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah.
Those are huge in design and home design right now. So you see, even when it comes to bathrooms and kitchen renos, all the faucets are gold. You see the silverware and there's gold. And all your hardware on like a white cabinet is gold. So that white and gold look is right on trend, and it's been around. It just keeps on coming back around. I find that trend.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at the next trend.
So this is my favorite one. Definitely being that collector type. And like I showed you before, my little salad bowl here that I collected on my own. The textiles, that is one of the funnest, I find, themes that you can play with in home decorating and when you're setting your table and things like that, because it allows you to take whatever you want. You don't need to have everything the same. Like I said, I collect things. I only have two of these bowls, and so I have this one here. I love pottery. So this one here, I would kind of put on the same table. That gives it a little bit of a neutral. But then, and these are my plates that I have at home. And again, I got these here at one point, but we only have two sets. We only had two sets of them. But these are, again, things that you just keep your eye open for, and you can kind of find those when you're shopping around. So
there's nothing wrong with having, awesome, even your lunch on a Tuesday afternoon on a special pretty plate. Because then you become a little more mindful of what you're enjoying and sort of that ritual of breaking bread. So yeah, those are gorgeous. Now you also have a love of pottery because of your grandmother, your Oma.
Yes,
was a fantastic potter, and that was handed down to your aunt, and your aunt actually taught me how to do raku back in the day. And pottery, yeah, we could talk about pottery and glass and all that all day.
Oh yeah.
So
I have, this is another one of my favorite dishes right here. And again, this is something I got here. It's not one that my Oma made. I didn't dare bring those because they're too special to me. I don't want to break in travel. But so something like this, it's just you pick it up when you're out, you see it, and or maybe it's a gift that you've been given. It just means. It means a lot when they're on the table, especially too when it has that real sentimental value of loving pottery right behind it.
Absolutely. And then we have another really great trend here, Erin.
Yes. So the Pantone colors this year are some of my favorites. So gray, a very cool, calming, subtle color. It's beautiful when you want to mix in any earth tones. So if you want to, you can go into the whites if you want on this, But that kind of gray tone, especially when it's a little bit more on the warmer, like I'm saying it's cool because it's a gray, but it still has a little bit more of a warmer touch for it. So you
Mhm.
can add your browns, you can add just greenery from your garden around in it, and it really creates a really nice earth tone, especially when you're having an outdoor garden type event.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as I sort of mentioned earlier, when you have a backyard event, I mean, you can definitely use something other than actual china. But when you use the china, and it just it just amps it up a little bit more. It amplifies the importance, or the love put into the food and the gathering of friends and family. Let's take a look at this trend here as well, Aaron.
So again, the yellow was the other color with the Pantone colors this year. So that's like the number one color in for design and home, yellow and grays, and definitely using them together. Yellow can be a very, if you're not careful, can be very, very tacky.
Mhm.
You want to make sure that it's almost a little bit, whether it's a little bit softer and keep everything around it kind of soft at the same tone, or if you're going to go bright, you want to keep stuff around it bright as well, because if you try to mix this pastels with vibrant, especially in yellow, it can come off a little bit more tacky, I find.
Mhm.
So one of the things, like, so say you don't have yellow plates, but you want to do this kind of fun thing for the summer. Take those white plates that you bought, you invested in the white plates, because you can change up that theme so many different ways by just adding those little touches. So you have your white plates, and now on the middle of your table, say you can add a little candle burning. You can add, I have green candlesticks here, but you could add some green candlesticks on your table for that little bit of color. This is, so again, if you're going to go maybe a little bit of the brighter tones, this would be like a beautiful table runner that we have. That again, you just mix with your whites. You add a little candle on that. And then we also have, see these little lemon salt shakers.
Oh, cute.
Again, like the salt shakers, we have like all different types of salt shakers that have like different meanings to them. Say like a unicorn, or some are Disney. I mean, I'm a Disney fan, not gonna lie. There's like little loons. I mean, like to me, the loons, a lot of people in my family would love loons because my grandpa loved loons. But these little things that you're adding to your table are like little pieces of you, which is kind of, so like you might just have these, yellow lemons, but hey, you decide you want to build your theme around this. Well, you can add it to your white plates, and now you have that pop of yellow. You can pull flowers, like we're going to talk about later, from your garden, also to add a pop of color when you're
Mhm.
using, trying to incorporate a new theme. But yellow would be a great option because it's one of those Pantone colors.
Yeah, and a few years back, the big thing was to take a nice vessel, vase, whatever, and fill it with lemons, actual lemons that
Yes.
you can then turn into lemonade. So it's about bringing that, all those textures and colors and style into play, and making it festive and fun. So yeah, speaking of flowers, let's take a look at this one here.
Yes. So there are a lot of flowers that are edible. So you may not enjoy the texture of them, but if you want to make some sort of interesting flair, you want to provoke some conversation when dinner starts. One of the things is funny. I love to talk during dinner. I love to have things to talk during dinner, and I'm always the last one eating because I've talked halfway through dinner. So forgive me, but I love to have things to talk about. So, if you, like I've been talking about the pottery, you put that pottery on there, or you want to add some items from your garden. I love gardening. So I know like certain things like nasturtiums, echinacea, daylilies, hibiscus. So see this beautiful flower here? I mean, you can eat this, and it actually
Mhm.
probably isn't absolutely disgusting. But if you want to just make your plate feel pretty and do something completely unique when you have company over, tell me the last time they probably went to somebody's house and had beautiful hibiscus flowers on their plate when they served like a beautiful pork with a nice drizzle of jus on it, or I don't know, something that Doug would make, and it'd be amazing. I'm a flower on there.
So the problem with flowers are people aren't always sure what's edible, but if they come in and talk to the staff at the glass house, they'll tell them what's edible and what's not. And hibiscus
Absolutely.
right now is really, really popular in tea and in beverages.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, a few years back, we used to sell this like jellied kind of hibiscus bud, and you would put it in drinks or like cocktails, especially salads, different things like that, and they're actually very tasty.
yeah. So there's in this picture here, there's other edibles as well.
Yes. So early spring, the bottom left-hand corner, you see there's violas or pansies. Those are beautiful to add, especially around if Easter's late enough. But they bloom very, very early in the spring. So if you want to have a flower that you can incorporate for the springtime, I would definitely plant some pansies and violas, because those you can get those early blooms and they can handle the frost. We also have calendula up there, which is also very good for herbal medicine as well. The squash flower, so the yellow one in the far right hand corner. So that would be out of your vegetable garden.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, you're going to be risking your squash, or sacrificing the fruit from it, because you need the blooms to create fruit. But say you wanted to add a little flair to your salad or something like that, you can throw some squash flowers in there. And sometimes, to be honest, it's better to pluck some of those flowers off of your squash so that it can throw out more branches and put on a little bit of a hardier stalk anyways. Another thing in there you see on the bottom right hand side is chives. I know you
Yes.
love to cook with chives and baked potatoes. What other kind of things do you use chives for, Doug?
Well, I like to use a flower as a decorative on the plate.
Mm-hmm.
But I put chives in that. You can put it in pasta. You can do a lot with chives, but it's a very light oniony flavor. As for
Mm-hmm.
the blossoms you talked about previous, a lot of times you can take those blossoms and stuff them with cream cheese and close them back up and then steam them.
So when are you doing that?
Just as soon as I have some blossoms.
I'm growing squash next year, I promise.
Perfect. I'll be right over. Yeah,
I'm
it's really
sacrificing this
it's a.
bloom right now.
I don't know if I'd want to do the hibiscus, but yeah, the squash, yeah, for sure,
Yeah, the
definitely.
nasturtiums too that I mentioned. I think we have another slide next to that, because so it's a very
Yeah.
tiny picture in that image, but nasturtiums are awesome. I would say they're a little bit more of like grandma's flower. Like my Oma and my grandma always grew nasturtiums, and when I was a kid, we sold so many of these. Um, I think they're amazing for using them in cooking. They're fast growing vines, so when you harvest some of those leaves, you're not feeling like you're cutting off half
Mhm.
a plant. But they love the full sun and they're easy to grow, so they can either climb, they can trail, but you can use them in your salads and they're so pretty. So
They're
you'll see on
great,
the
and
next slide after that,
yeah, they're
you can
beautiful in the
use,
salad. It just makes it really that much more special when you do it. But
yeah.
in here, there we are.
So I had to circle them because there's so much fruit in that salad, but you can see just like the single petals when you pull them apart. Like they
Hmm.
actually, the flavor would just, it's kind of like would you say like a little bit of a peppery kind of flavor? It's not super strong, but
Not really strong, but it is has a little bit of a peppery bite to it, like almost like an arugula,
yeah, perfect. Yeah.
and and it's good.
Um,
And you can eat the greens and the blooms, correct?
Yes, the whole everything. You can eat the stems, and I believe even the seeds as well.
Wow.
Like when it goes to seed, but I feel like that would be very potent at that point. Like you probably would enjoy eating it before then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then here's some more edible information.
Yes. So that's kind of just what we talked about. But looking at that, so the different kind of flavors, so you get a little bit more of a sweeter flavor from the flower. The leaves so add a really cool texture to the salad. So if you see on the next page too, they're almost like a little coin shaped with like a little, I don't know, they almost seem like they seem fancy if you wouldn't know what they are.
They are fancy, yes.
Right? Like to me, they're like grandma's plant. But when you see them in food, it just looks so beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, in fine dining, a lot of the high end restaurants will have their own. They'll grow a lot of their own, and they'll pick it for service for that night. And it's just like one or two on the side of a plate, or to top off a salad, and it's simple and it's elegant. So,
Hmm.
and then of course we have this, which is everyone's favorite.
Yes, mint, which we are enjoying right now.
We have
So,
we have
do you
muddled mint.
smell
I
pretty
muddled
good?
the mint in the bottom of that.
Oh, I can't get my camera right. I can't get it. It's not gonna work for me. It looks so beautiful in my drink. It seems so fancy.
It is. It's good.
But yeah, mint is something that is very easy to grow. In fact, you kind of need to know how to make sure that it doesn't grow too much.
Mhm.
So one of the things that I always recommend, put it in a pot. If you're not going to put it in a pot, plant it in the ground in a bigger pot than what it came in, because it's going to send out little shoots, and we call those suckers, and they're real suckers. But they just keep on growing out, and they'll spread on you like crazy. But if you give the roots a little house to grow in and you create a wall, they're not going to spread on you. But they're beautiful, really beautiful little potted up plants. So I have one right here that we potted up a while, like not too long ago. But so it's just a really pretty little green plant. And it doesn't bloom, like you're not going to get blooms on it really, because you're going to be trimming it back all the time. And it has a little bit of fragrance, but the nice thing about it is it's hardy. It's going to keep on growing back every time you trim it off. So if you want to make mojitos, if you want to use it somewhere, use it. Don't be afraid to, right?
Mojitos.
Don't have one drink, have more.
Yeah. You got lots of mint. You can have a whole bunch of mojitos. So, and muddle that mint in there and get the flavor out and enjoy it. Great way to edible and pretty would be lavender, of course.
Yes.
This is gorgeous.
Lavender is one of those things where every time somebody comes through the till with lavender or basil, I have to touch it so that my hands smell like it after for like 10 minutes. I love the smell of it. And I say that it's my stress relief, but honestly, it smells so amazing. But now I'm not going to stop smelling my hands. But they're just so beautiful. And it's a really nice little evergreen, very easy to grow in your garden. But what you can either use it fresh or dried, and so you can just break off like the little petals, and you'll see in one of those photos, you can actually put it into baking. So it's really pretty, actually used in cooking, baking cookies. Sorry. So or like little. You've used them in cookies before, eh, Doug?
You can put them in like a butter cookie, because you want something that's light and easy so that you can taste the lavender. I've also used it, I think, once in a brownie, but like a light cookie, like a sugar cookie, or a small twill would work. But yeah, it's gorgeous. And you can dry it, you can pound it, you can muddle it into a drink if you want as well, and have a bit of you can put it in tea. I mean, it's lavender tea, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a lavender Long Island iced tea, but yeah, that just happened. Yeah.
That just happened.
It's worth a try. I'll try it. I'll report back.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Did you just grab the muddler by chance? Is that what that's in front of you?
So we do have little muddlers. These are super popular right now. But definitely when you're cooking with herbs or you dry your herbs, you want to make sure that you get that texture kind of ground down, because if not, it can really kind of affect your experience when you're eating your food. But so if you dry your lavender, you may definitely want to consider using a muddler. And then also, so we were talking about using lavender in like your napkins and servings and stuff. So I always just recommend, if you have twine at home, because if you're just trying to do something really quick because you have company, this takes spider on it. Don't do that in your own house. So, but this twine, it's just something you would find around the house in the garage. And if you just take a little piece and wrap it around as a bow, like this saves you like quite a bit of money on just like little napkin rings. I should have practiced the wrapping part.
That's okay.
Sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not. But it's just like extremely simple, and it adds such character to your.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't it so simple?
Very simple, very effective, easy to do.
Right?
Yep. And if you were having
like it's your everyday napkin, but now it feels like it's meant to be out on your patio for like a nice little evening. But
if you wanted to make it extra special because you're making sure everyone sits where they're supposed to sit because of COVID, you could put their name on it.
Okay.
little name
Yep.
tag.
Yep. And
Yeah.
like, so, but the nice thing too, like if it's around your garden, you get that fragrance in your yard too. So like when the wind blows, you get such a nice, beautiful scent, and
Mhm.
it is drought tolerant, and you literally can't kill it unless you soak it and soak it and soak it with a hose forever. So like it's a great option, especially if you want to try something new in your garden that you want to include, like incorporate in your cooking and hosting. Lavender would be a great option. That's extremely easy and comes back every year.
Excellent. And then this one here.
So those are just different types of lavender.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that like lavender has all different types of flowers and blooms. But the one that if you're wanting to use a lavender that's meant for cooking, I would recommend Munstead. It's a little bit of a sweeter taste, but it has a little bit more flavor too when you're using it for cooking. But any type of lavender is edible. So if you have lavender in your garden already, I would try it before you try to find something before you try to grow Munstead to harvest.
Excellent. Excellent.
Sure.
Well, that's a lot to take in, Erin. Good job. Good
Thanks.
job.
I told you
So,
we could be talking about plants and hosting. I won't be quiet.
it's time for a party, I'll tell you that. It's time for a summertime party in the back of the robin's nest here. So absolutely. And when I do, I've got some tricks now, so I can definitely do that. So mojito and lavender, that's what I got to grow. And nasturtium. So
nasturtiums. You can grow those by seed, so it's you should try them.
Good project for the grandbabies to start for me. Yeah. So excellent. So folks, if you're in Chatham, Kent, or if you're on a day trip from other areas, stop in. The glass house is open. They've got a lot for you to see. You can roam the grounds. You can shop the shops, and pick up some seeds, pick up some plants, pick up some dishes, pick up maybe that new favorite platter that you've always wanted, or bowl. It's yours for the taking. And we need to maybe pamper ourselves a little bit more, this year than normal, because of the way it's been going. And if a special plate does it for you, hey, tell them Doug said you can have it. So just go out and buy it. So, Erin, thank you very much. It's always great to talk about entertaining, and it's great to make sure that we're talking about all the great entertainment possibilities we have in our own backyard. So thank you very much, Erin. Absolutely. And folks, thank you for joining Engagement, and we'll see you next week when we talk about more summer stuff. Thank you.